the time, this is the place, and this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky. And since everything is geeky, if you love it enough, you never know what you're going to get. This is your host, I am C. This week, we'll be talking about an underrated genre, musicals. Is it really truly underrated? We're going to talk about that as well. After that, stick around for upcoming events and our question of the week. It's a full house today. With me, as always, the legendary Billy DeTore.
Hi.
The ever-legendary Tanya Metris.
Hello.
The awesomely legendary Sherry Elbrisky and her surly human sidekick.
Surly? That would be a
Nice.
You're making him surlier.
That really does depend on the day.
It really
and it wasn't today. But now it is.
But now it is.
Thanks, Christopher.
I have set Chris Spink off. I'm sorry, Chris.
No, it's all good.
I love you.
It's
and
funny.
your goatee. And, of course, if Sherry and Chris are here, who is with them but the bouncing baby monk herself? Hello, Ilana.
Hello.
How you doing, babes?
Good.
You're good?
Yes.
I heard you won recently. The team came out strong, or did I miss that reading?
No. It was my scrimmage.
Your scrimmage?
Yes. It was a newbie scrimmage, so there was a bunch of different people. So not all of them were my own teammates.
Oh.
But I got to learn a bunch,
Good deal.
and my team won.
And you ran a few people over.
Yes, actually I did.
Thump, thump.
And she scored a few points.
Nice.
Because we haven't mentioned scrimmage as in roller derby, not
Roller derby
football,
scrimmage.
not soccer.
Ilana is not going to be the next quarterback of the Bills.
But it is
it was-
preseason.
It was actually Scrabble.
It was a Scrabble.
She did run a few people over, and she scored some points.
Nice. A
Did
Scrabble
you use
scrimmage.
The Q
That sounds like
and
fun.
the X and the Z all
There
in
you
one
go.
word?
Oh, yeah.
We need a Rock'em Sock'em Robots
We do.
league.
That's it. That's a thing. Also in the studio, as usual, my bouncing baby boy Ian is here today. He's working on a Gatorade at the moment. He's holding up the finger. He's
Now he's choking.
choking his brains out.
Not the
He's
finger
getting
you're
there.
thinking, yeah.
He's not the he's
It
not.
was, oh, wait a second.
He flipped me off last night. But how you doing over there, buddy?
I'm doing
and he's getting me
great.
now. There you go.
Muffin.
He wants muffins.
And
Yes,
last but
very
certainly
good.
not least,
Intern extraordinaire.
our intern
Hello.
extraordinary, the effervescent Becca's
Becca.
here
I'm back.
for a moment or two, right? And then you're
Yeah.
off to school.
I leave.
Yeah, and then you're back. You take a breath. You podcast, and then you take off again.
Yep.
What's your summer been like?
I was working on fingers.
You were working on fingers. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm assuming prosthetic and or robotic fingers.
Yeah, 3D printing.
Okay, because we were just talking about Ian and his fingers, but it was a less
Yes.
kind of a topical situation. Yeah, that one again. Stop picking your nose. Anyway,
Ew.
so you're
I was wondering if she was working in a bakery.
no lady fingers
No, there's
or chicken fingers are good.
there's these pastries that in our area that are called fingers.
Yeah, but you also have some really weird culinary things going on in your neck of the woods.
But they're good.
They truly are.
See, I thought maybe you were doing nails, you know.
No, she's
Now, prosthetic fingers.
prosthetic finger. Becca is working on being. She's not going to be the Bionic Woman. She's going to be
The creator.
Yeah, Rudy. Remember the $6 million man? I can't remember Rudy's last name.
Rudy Wells.
Rudy Wells. Thank you, Billy.
course.
Becca is going to be cast as Rudy Wells in the real life version of the $6 Million Man. So that's going to be awesome.
Well, I need new
It'll be a good
knees, so
time.
get on it.
Yeah, there you go.
You and about 3 other friends.
I have a coworker that's getting a new knee in September. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, and you got to work on backs. There's a really good market for backs.
Yeah.
At least the two Chris's here.
My problem is that I'm just out of shape. That's the thing. Is this heals and I start actually working on strengthening my body, then I'll be better. This going to be a thing. It's just it's a whole laziness issue. Everybody's looking at me now like,
Yeah,
okay,
Good luck on that.
I'm working on it.
It has nothing to do with
No, I have no core strength.
No, I mean, it has nothing to do with actually getting there and doing the work. Mm-hmm. It has to, I'm healed, so now I go to work, and then it's broken again.
Yeah,
This has been the process for 10 years now. So-
yeah, that's been a thing.
And don't fall off the roof.
I have no intention of being on the roof.
I had plenty of intention of being on the roof, but I didn't have any intention of falling off the
Yeah,
roof.
well, yeah, you didn't have intention getting off the roof is the way you did it. Billy, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good.
Does your back hurt?
My back doesn't hurt currently.
Yay, that's good to hear.
Even after moving all those boxes a couple weeks ago?
Nah, that's fine. My
I had
knees
a-
occasionally hurt,
I
but
did have a small army show up to help me move. That was amazing. So, and I'm running out of boxes to unpack. Although the box that had all the books that I had set aside to read, I can't find that one at the moment.
But didn't you say in an earlier podcast that all your boxes were unpacked?
No, I didn't say I was getting close to having all my boxes unpacked.
I thought it was that they were all unpacked.
No, when you're moving into a house, it's a process. It's a thing.
I still have lots of boxes not unpacked, and I've
you've
been
been
there
there.
for like 2.5 years.
I was going to say
so.
2.5, 3
Do
years.
yours have T-shirts in them?
We lived in Syracuse for like.
No, I have my
We lived in Syracuse for 10 years, and we never unpacked everything. There are still things that are still packed from the apartment we lived in when Monk was born.
I think I still have possibly stuff still packed in a box from 21 years ago that I'm like, if I find that box, it's probably just going to get thrown out.
There you go.
I haven't seen it in 21 years.
I'm thinking garage sale.
It might be wedding invitations.
It's right up there.
So, it might be just extra wedding invitations and stuff from 21 years ago that those can be thrown out.
It's right up there with Al Capone's vault. Somebody get Geraldo Rivera and find Tanya's box.
I have not a clue. I know there's stuff underneath the stairs type thing that, I don't know what's under there.
There's people.
There's people.
Actually,
under
there
the
are
stairs.
little kids underneath the stairs. They're dressed up for Halloween.
Oh, yeah, the foam.
The foam
Zombie
head
babies?
And, no, those aren't under the stairs. Those are actually on
Those
the
are
bookshelf,
disturbing
getting
as-
ready to scare the kids because
Those
they
are
hate them.
Disturbing as
We
hell.
love
Those need
them.
to be under the stairs.
Yeah,
I love them. I tried to go to Spirit
need to
Halloween
be under
yesterday.
it.
It wasn't open yet.
they need to be under a tarp. All right,
They're
so
gonna be on the middle
we're going
of
to do
the
something just a
gaming table
smidge
today.
different today. We're going to power through. We're not going to take a break. We're going to jump right into the topic of the week here. And Sherry has written me a wonderful little blurb, as she usually does. From Gilbert and Sullivan to Hamilton, from the jazz singer to Rent, musicals have always had their own following. Musical geeks are like any other group, passionate about what they love and always willing to talk about that passion. And like almost every other nerdy niche, we have a few musical geeks in our midst today. So
Is that why we have Becca back?
that's why we have
Yes.
Becca
Hello.
came out of the
Becca
woodwork
back,
because we're
Becca
Becca. We are here today to talk about musical stage. I'm assuming stage and screen.
Yes.
Musicals.
That was going to be my question because I do enjoy musicals on the stage. I've been to plenty. I used to be an RBTL subscriber, but I'm way more a movie musical fan. I grew up when I was a kid, and Becca and Ian will not, and Monk will have absolutely no concept of this. There were 3 TV stations
right.
plus PBS. And
Yeah.
Channel
Fox.
31 showed. Well, they didn't show up until 1981ish.
Yeah,
So
I was preteen.
I was
just
in
when 31
junior
went on
high
there.
or high school when Channel 31 showed up. So when there was a movie on, it had to be on 8, 10, 13 or on PBS during Pledge Week.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
PBS was Lawrence Welk show.
See, it was on
Let's
Channel
book it
8 when
over.
I was
Was it
a
on
kid.
Channel 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
But musicals were the movies comedies and musicals were my favorite movies back then, because if you could find an entertaining movie on Channel 8 on a Saturday afternoon, I was more than thrilled when it was a Fred Astaire movie.
There you go.
Or a Frank Sinatra or
Old school.
movie musicals.
James Cagney.
An Elvis movie was a treat. An Elvis movie was a real treat.
You dirty rat. Now sing.
Actually, Yankee Doodle Dandy on
One of my
PBS is
That's a
favorites.
classic. It is
One
a
of my
classic.
all-time favorites.
I saw that on a PBS Pledge Week. That's specifically why I mentioned that. I always remembered seeing Yankee Doodle Dandy on Channel
loved.
21.
And see,
Love,
that's
love.
interesting
Seen
that
it probably
we're
45 times.
we're dipping right into the classics at this point. Where when Sherry first mentioned musicals to me, and I saw Becca's ears perk up from 3 miles away. You think automatically Rent. You think Disney. You think Les Miserables.
I went Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the
automatic.
Opera. You think of
The musical is better than the movie.
yes.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I
Hands
have the
down.
movie just to enjoy the music of it and the story, but
I have the 50th anniversary video.
There you go.
but if Phantom comes back to Rochester, I'm there. I'm like I just need to go down to New York City and see it. I've seen it in Toronto. I've seen it in Rochester a couple times. So
I was blessed. I mean, as an only child, my parents.
your kids aren't only children.
My kids are not only children. I'm still
wish
catching
they
up on.
were.
I'm catching up on 18 hours or 18 years of missed sleep. So you're going to have to work with me on that one. Anyway, my parents took me to New York City often when I was a kid. I remember, like spring break when I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade and early high school years. We would always go to New York City. We would hit a couple of shows in Broadway. I remember seeing, Andy Rooney and Sugar Babies, and I've seen Chorus Line when I was 8. Right, my mom's favorite story is here I am, four rows from the stage at 8 years old, watching Chorus Line, right, and then turning to my mother and asking her, "Mom, what are tits and ass?"
That's the one that I went to.
I know. Well, I motioned.
Apparently the old lady behind me like snorted her drink out or something like that. I don't remember. I remember seeing the spectacle of it. I remember the music. I remember the big finale at the end when everybody's in the gold lame outfits and everything like that. I remember that. But I've seen Cats. I've seen. I can't even think of all the ones I've seen. Barnum was a great one. The life and times of P.T. Barnum, and there was supposed to be some sort of country music star but I didn't care at the time because I was like 10. But those are the ones I think about right off the bat, and those are the moments. And then the movies started coming out, and it was a whole new medium. And then, of course, you have to realize that most Disney movies are, in essence, they're fundamentally musicals.
A lot of them, yeah.
So, but it's a different audience for different things and different times, different exposures. And
I've seen A Chorus Line, the movie version, which is highly underrated.
I own it.
I love that movie,
Yeah.
but I've never seen the stage version of that.
It
I've seen
was
the movie
interesting.
a ton of times.
I saw the stage version at the little theater that's down the street from the auditorium theater. Is it Blackfriars?
Blackfriars.
Okay.
Oh, I love Black.
Or
I've never
Downstairs
been there.
Cabaret.
No, it's
one
not
of
the
those.
Downstairs Cabaret. It was just like it's got the little teeny tiny stage. I think maybe 100 people can fit in that room or something. And
and Rochester Broadway League.
Their
Rochester.
version of one literally had one.
Yeah.
So I saw it there. So it wasn't
Yeah.
even on like the auditorium.
Yeah, we've been to
stage.
Jiva, we've been to Blackfriars, we've been to the RBTL's
that
main
little
stage
theater.
over there on Main Street, and it's good stuff. And I think it's, you said it in the write-up, underrated. People kind of like, there are a lot of people who will just dismiss musicals, but then they'll dismiss musicals, and then 2 breaths later they're kind of humming a song that they were thinking about from a musical.
And then Hamilton comes along, and suddenly everyone's into musicals.
Right.
I have not seen Hamilton yet.
Neither have I.
I've only heard the music, and I've seen bits and pieces from a video that someone took off the internet.
Now-
that shouldn't
That's
exist.
one of that's one of the two that I really, really want to see right now. I want to see Hamilton, and I want to see Spring Awakenings. I
You
desperately
know what I
want
want
to see Spring
I
Awakening.
want to see Spring Awakening with the deaf and hearing cast.
Yes, that's
Please.
Oh my God! Yes, absolutely.
I assume they're signing their way through certain
Yes.
numbers. And
Well, the
whatnot. That's
funny
kind
thing,
of cool.
the actors sign, and then they have singing interpreters.
Interesting.
Yes.
The main actors are deaf, and then there's someone off to the side who's singing what they're signing.
Oh, that's a cool
it's a
concept.
reverse
That is a very cool concept. I've never even heard of the
I
show
know
until
the
just now.
entirety of Song of Purple Summer in sign language.
That's awesome.
The stage version was at the RBTL a few years ago. I remember being there and not being aware other than it's a Tony Award winning play. And I didn't get a chance to go to that one. And now I really regret it.
There was a
because-
TV show last season that it was based on a true story of a school who wanted to do the production, and it's very controversial.
What makes it so controversial?
It's high school aged kids, but it has teen pregnancy, it has suicide, it has homosexuality. It's
All the things people are afraid to talk about because we have such a prudish society,
exactly, especially they don't want to talk about them in high school.
which is where they should be talking about
Exactly. But
Yeah.
they had a TV show based on this school that wanted to do this production.
it. Interesting.
Yeah. It was pretty good. We watched it.
I have friends in high school. I've never seen the musical, and I really want to. But I had friends in high school that would play the soundtracks for that musical consistently.
Listen, do you know what happened during midterms week? My friend Colleen and I, we'd just be messing around, and she'd just pull out her phone and start playing the song Totally Fucked. Because that's how we felt.
Mama Who Bore Me was the one I heard the most.
One more time, and we got the speaker button.
Yay! Well, here, I'm glad you bring that up, Chris, because I wanted to bring up somewhere along the line how one of those the musicals are unexpected. Sometimes you don't understand that a movie or a play or something is going to actually become a musical. My case in point of that particular thing is the original South Park movie.
Oh, yeah.
Was a friggin' musical.
Well,
wouldn't know
That's
that.
right, it was.
Huh?
Well, yeah,
Earth Girls are easy.
She was not expecting that to be a musical when I played that.
That was great.
well, I'm just like looking at the list of songs from Spring Awakening: "The Bitch of Living," "My Junk," "Touch Me." Let's see.
It's an
Then
amazing story.
Totally, whatever. I'm not going to have Sherry push the Spreaker button just yet.
Oh, we're going for it. I'm letting you know it's going to happen for this episode.
Probably.
Which would be funny that it'd be this episode.
Seriously.
It's not funny. It's actually appropriate.
Yeah.
But then you see like when you go back, and I've seen like a meme or a different take on the Grease soundtrack,
Right.
and
Oh,
like
that's
Summer Nights and things
really
like
dirty.
that. Yeah, if you look at Summer
Grease Lightning?
No, well,
That's an extremely dirty song.
Is that though?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
the original lyrics, yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you
Okay,
read the
'cause
original lyrics, you're like, whoa.
Because the version I heard, it was mostly about cars, and it was just
No.
like, I don't
It's all
understand
metaphor,
any of
honey.
this.
It's all.
There is
it's all,
there is a line in the original, she's a real pea wagon.
Yeah.
It's basically they want a car so they can get sex.
Right.
Okay, then. Makes sense.
That's
Oh,
what it's
did you
about.
see that light bulb just pop above her head? Holy crap!
Isn't there a line about lubing more than the engine or something like that? I can't remember exactly.
The,
It's been a
the
while.
chicks will cream.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
There
That's
are
the
some
one.
cream. The chicks will cream for Grease Lightning.
Yeah.
She was in it, but she was in the
Oh, there it is. You know that I ain't bragging. She's a real blanking wagon, starting with a P, a type of cat.
Persian.
she's a real Persian wagon.
It's like
Pomeranians?
kinda
Wait,
like
what? Go ahead. Say it again. Say it again.
I didn't. No.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
moving on
No,
here.
I didn't even say that. I didn't even realize this is I'll get the money. I'll kill to get the money. Mm-hmm. Is one of the lyrics in there.
Mm-hmm. Musicals are interesting because they're an evolutionary process from, the theater of old was always sung. I mean, Shakespeare was one of the first regular, Shakespeare, Marlowe, those guys. They were really the first that were telling a story that was just a spoken word. You'd throw some songs in there to entertain the masses, but the bulk of was chants, and oral traditions were transmitted through music. And opera was a thing it's been a thing for hundreds of years.
Modern musicals came down through first opera, through operetta, through burlesque, which was making fun of
opera. Yes,
down into what we now consider musicals.
right. Now,
And the earliest of what we consider the modern musicals is like Gilbert and Sullivan.
well, if musicals evolved from opera, why do we still have opera anyway?
Because everything is better in German.
There you go.
Is it German or Latin?
No,
Yes, it's German.
Italian?
no.
It's German and Italian.
Love Wagner.
Yeah.
Wagner.
Go ahead, Billy.
One interesting transition is that for many, many, many years, plays, musicals had original scores, original songs. Nowadays, in the last decade or two, there's a thing that is referred to as jukebox musicals, whether it's Mamma Mia,
right.
Moving Out with Billy Joel,
Yeah.
Beau-
Mamma
Carole
Mia.
King's Beautiful,
Right.
where you take a pre-existing set of pop songs by a famous singer-songwriter and make them a musical for the stage.
Well, even Guardians of the Galaxy is a little guilty of that.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, let's look at it. I mean, people went out of their way to see the second Guardians because they wanted to know what the soundtrack was going to come up for it.
Not as good as the first one.
Not as good as the first.
It's funny, Billy, though, because when I was in middle school, I was in a musical that it was called 45 Minutes from Broadway, and it was it wasn't a George M. Cohen musical. But it was all George M. Cohen songs from all different musicals that they kind of put together with
Interesting.
another story specifically for middle and high school
So
students.
that may have been the first jukebox
Yeah,
musical.
that's what
There
it
you go.
made me think of was that, yes, it was music, but it was from all different ones.
That's interesting.
Because like 45 Minutes from Broadway, Mary, all these different ones, Yankee Doodle Dandy, they weren't all from the same show.
Right. And nowadays, well, like Springsteen was the first to sort of do his own catalog on stage. Is there anyone else that could do that right
American Idiot.
now? American Idiot is a jukebox musical, but Green Day didn't come on stage and do the
I
songs,
think Billy
did they?
Joe actually did for
Okay.
one performance.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Just jumped out and was like, it's me.
Then you look at rock operas.
Oh, Tommy.
Oh, yeah. Tommy. And,
Operation Mindcrime, Queensryche.
Actually, Green Day, the American Idiot, goes into that category, the rock opera. Sure.
Didn't Styx try to do a rock opera?
Yes.
It was the whole Kilroy thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Roboto.
And it
Yep.
was
And
Kilroy was here.
Duran.
awful. And
Duran
Duran did one. Yeah. Hair. I mean, let's just hit late 60s, early 70s.
Then you look at movie soundtracks, too, that go with it, like Queen.
Okay.
You know, with
Yeah,
Highlander.
With Highlander. And,
Oh, my God. And
Flash Gordon.
Flash
Flash
Gordon.
Gordon.
Yeah, but that's more of like soundtracks for movies rather than like they didn't create the movie to do. You don't see the Kurgan busting into the hills are alive with the
Yes.
sound of
Yeah,
music.
I understand. But
That would be the hills are alive. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work.
oh, the visual's
Nuns,
great.
no sense of humor.
Yeah, nuns, no sense of humor. No, I can't
As
do
opposed
that.
to as opposed to Elvis, who just starts singing, "Gonna race
Yeah.
that car."
Oh God, the '60s were with the Beach Boys and that
the
from
Beatles had a
cello
couple
and
great.
Frankie Valli and all that stuff.
Oh, the Beach Party movies.
Oh, the
sure.
Beach Party.
Joseph
What was the
and
first musical you were in,
Technicolor
Becca?
Coat has like
Joseph and the
Little Shop
Amazing
of
Technicolor
Horrors.
Dreams.
Okay. All right, you guys are rifling through, and I'm talking to Becca over here. So we'll have our own private conversation. It's okay. I like her more than you anyway.
At least today.
Well, yeah, especially today. No,
What's your car look like?
you feel free. It's already whooped to hell.
I know.
No, so Becca, you were in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, that was just backstage.
Okay,
It was a good time.
but still, that's your first musical
that, was my
you were a
first
part
exposure.
of. Okay, how about
Monk has been.
Monk's been in?
oh God, I was in Crazy for You,
You were in, did you do Grease?
Grease, and
Yeah.
Footloose. Those were the ones I was in, and then I worked backstage for Suzuko, Flat Stanley Jr.
Susical.
You did Susan.
Beauty and the Beast.
and Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
My very first musical that I was a part of was Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which it's just
Nice.
oh my God! It's like Mel Brooks was like in the room when we're coming through with that one. It was just amazing. It was a lot of fun. That was my junior year.
First one I was in was Little Abner.
Little Abner.
I played Earthquake Magoon.
Wow!
And you want to hear something really weird?
Tell me something weird.
This is funny.
My dad was in one musical in his entire life.
And
he
was
was
it-
in Little Abner, and he played.
Really?
Earthquake Magoon, yes. How funny is that? It's really
And in our
weird how
next
some of our
episode
stuff
of In
lines up.
Search of Crazy Coincidences that happen in Sherry's family. My search begins now. Anyway,
Okay, so what was everybody's first musical that they saw in person?
Chorus Line. I think I established that one early
Yes.
on.
How about you, Billy?
See.
Of Mormon.
I'll have to think
Book
about
of Mormon?
that one, Tim.
Mine's the first professional musical.
I have not seen that one yet.
Professional or
Not school.
not school?
Yeah.
Mine would be Phantom of the Opera at the Pantages Theater in
Beautiful,
Toronto.
beautiful. That's a great place.
Nice.
Oh, it was
Camelot.
beautiful.
In the elegant Pantages Theater.
It's beautiful
Yeah,
up
it is.
there.
My first one was Camelot.
Camelot.
Now that I think about it, I'm trying to remember the Starlight Express.
Really?
Good
Another
one.
one.
Because only Andrew Lloyd Webber can make a whole thing about trains.
Trains, but with all the characters
On
on
roller
roller
skates.
skates.
Yeah.
I think that's what drew me to it. I got to see if anybody's going to fall down.
I always
Yeah.
want to see that.
I never saw. Did anybody?
Yes.
What?
Good. I never saw that one.
The first
Starlight
one.
Express,
No, I
they
haven't
had
seen that one.
people on roller skates form a train. It was a train race.
Yeah.
Yep, that was
And
neat.
there was ramps set up, and it was
And Bank Track and
odd.
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, Bank Trap.
It was Andrew Lloyd Webber saying, "I've made so much money off of everything else so far. I'm going to throw this one out there and see what happens because people are going to laugh and whatever. But I'm still rich. I don't care."
I also remember seeing a
Trappo,
Doonesbury musical very early.
Doonesbury musical.
Yeah,
that exists
because I was a Doonesbury fan in high school.
Well, yeah, that's a
Love
great. That's
Doonesbury.
the best
Love
strip
Doonesbury.
ever.
And like junior high, I became like a Doonesbury fan. There was a musical that wound up at the Auditorium Theater that I saw.
And we can do a whole podcast on Doonesbury, Bloom County.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, Kelvin and Hobbes, the works. Anyway,
The first one I saw was, oh God, it just flew out of my head now. The Fantastics. And I saw it
Okay.
at the Sullivan Theater
yeah.
in New York City, which is where it originated with Jerry Orbach.
Wow, the late
And
great.
unfortunately, I didn't get to see him play it, but
He was in the cast, but not that day.
no, he was already way since having done it
I gotcha.
because it had been running for years and years and years.
Oh, right. It was like, was that the longest running one?
Yes, it
Okay.
was. Hey, somebody else knew that. How about that?
My first professional one was the Newsies in New York City. let me just say that set was amazing.
Oh, well, yeah. I saw Cats at the Winter Garden on Broadway, and I was not ready for it. You know, okay, people dressed up as cats. I don't even like cats, but whatever. And I knew the music, so I was looking forward to it. And then all of a sudden, because my parents were always really good about getting tickets in the best places, I'm on the aisle 3 rows from the stage.
Oh, my God.
And I didn't know that my feet were right by a tube. And all of a sudden, there's an actor in my lap. and there's a cat on my lap singing to me, and I'm like, panic. I was not nearly as go with the flow at 13 as I am today at 47. So it's like, holy Moses. That
Pushed him
really...
off her lap on the floor, kicked him.
Yeah.
Get away from me, stinking cats.
But you were talking about Newsies earlier, Becca.
Oh, I was just joking about it.
Just joking about it?
Yeah.
Get in there, get into that microphone and joke about it a little bit more.
What?
Because
Newsies
I
is
said
good.
so.
What do you
I
want me
love
to say?
Newsies. I love
I have
Newsies.
nothing against Newsies.
Extra.
It'd be great if you broke into song. You were so thrilled about it.
Like I said, the set was amazing.
Okay, musicals we didn't like, either stage or movie.
Shrek the musical.
That was a rough musical.
Flat Stanley.
Flat
Flat Stanley. Oh my God.
Should never been made. Okay, movie musical that never should have been made. Paint Your Wagon.
That was, I don't know that one.
Whoever thought that making
Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood and Lee Marvin, they both sang, and let's make a movie. Let's make a movie about polygamy and Gold Rush,
Oh, goody.
and cast those 2 actors as the 2 male leads. The only good thing that came out of it was the song "They Call the Wind," Mariah. Is the only good thing that came
I've heard
out
that
of it.
one. I'm going to take a lot of flack, but my least favorite movie musical that I have actually watched and sat through, The Sound of Music. I
like the
seriously,
first half.
I sort
The
of
first
agree
half
with
I
you.
like.
this,
I like the first half.
the hills are alive with the sun. Click. That's as far as I usually get.
With the sound of Griswold.
Yeah, there you go.
Never seen
It's
the movie,
just-
but the
I don't-
musical gave me pain.
It's just, I mean,
too
I get
long.
it. Oh,
It's
it's
too
that's.
long.
I think that's part of it.
That's my thoughts on Mary Poppins. Oh my God, I could
Goes on
never
forever.
sit through.
I mean,
the
I'm not going to
entirety
throw
of Mary
shade
Poppins.
on Julie Andrews because she's phenomenal. She's a classy, amazing, talented woman, but still, that musical just
Goes on
It-
forever.
and all of the songs they're so popular and they're so overplayed in my opinion in these when people talk about musicals. Oh, you know, do a deer, fuck the deer. So
And
there's the buzzer,
finger button.
you know.
He
See,
warned you.
he had it all set up.
I did, but
I know. It's like
it's just I don't want
I'm
to
over
deal
it.
with it, you know. And when they did the big remake with was it Emily Blunt was in it? I don't remember, but there was a remake recently that popped up on TV, and I just like everybody's like, "Oh, it's the event of the year." No, it's the event of go rent something else or go play on the computer. I just couldn't do it, could not do
I
it.
haven't really liked any of those special one-time
Yeah,
live
they
event
seem
musical
way
things.
too
I really have not enjoyed
stiff.
them.
Yeah.
because they did Grease, and I was like,
The Jesus Christ Superstar one, I watched it and I was just criticizing the entire thing.
Oh God, yeah,
See,
John
The
Legend?
Peter Pan one.
yeah.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Should never
I
been
wanted
remade.
to like it. I wanted to
I
like
wanted
it.
to. Yeah, I'm with
but
you,
it
Sherry.
really-
I'm with
What,
you.
the
I wanted
movie?
to.
Yeah,
No,
the
the-
remake.
They did a remake TV
They did-
special.
They did the TV
of
special.
Rocky.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to like
Yes.
it, and I didn't.
I couldn't. I tried.
A little overplayed.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I love Tim Curry. I love that they wanted to have him part of it. He really should not have been. He
No.
wasn't well enough to do
No,
it.
he
really
when
wasn't.
after the stroke, he's lost his.
On the other
Touch, and it
hand,
sucks.
TV-wise, I love Glee. Even the last
I
season that
did love
everyone
Glee.
hated. Everyone hated the
couldn't get
last
into
season.
it.
I love Glee.
I had never watched Glee for the story.
But I did.
I
would
would
always
always
the
watched
music,
Glee.
the
I watched it
TV
for
show.
the songs.
Yeah, I watched the musical.
I thought that
You
show
know, the
was
music was great.
charming. I thought it was funny. I thought it was sad. I thought it was. I love the music aspect of it. Just a bunch of talented kids.
Well, I'll tell you when they lost Corey Monteith when
Yeah.
he passed away, and they had their episode where everybody was dealing with because they killed off Finn at the same time, so they
Yeah.
did that so that the cast.
I didn't
could-
watch that last season for
It was-
almost 2 years because of that.
That was one of the few times where I actually decided to pay attention to the whole episode because usually just I would watch it for the music. The music was always very good, very well done. There was a lot of fun. You know, the actors really did a great job and were very talented. But I didn't give a damn about the who's who, the soap opera part of it.
See-
But that episode that I was referring to, when they were pouring their emotion into these songs where they were singing, for their friend who had passed. Oh man, that was mind blowing.
You
It was
just
intense.
cry for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Naya Rivera, when she broke down during her
Leah
piece,
Michele,
and you could tell it was Naya and not her character.
Yep.
And it was amazing just to see that purity of the moment. Anyway, I'm going to blabber on.
Well,
about
I
that.
never watched Glee because it rang true a little bit too close to high school.
Yeah, it was a little too intense in stereotypes.
Well,
Music nerd.
I was a music nerd, and
Gotcha.
I was a voice major. So,
Right, remember you saying that earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not always, obviously, but I knew there was a lot that was going to be similar, so I was like, lived it, who cares?
Although I always thought there should have been a spin-off. I was always curious about the kids the band members that could just break in any song immediately. There should have been a spin-off called Band.
Yeah, seriously, that's not a bad idea.
Well, then you got to look at the other characters that weren't all the ones that were right up front.
Mm-hmm. The B characters.
Yeah, because
The supporting role.
those supporting roles are the ones that make the other ones look good. So,
Oh, yeah.
Screw
Ian,
that.
you've been silent over there. I know this is usually not your cup of tea, but are there musicals that have attracted you, that have caught your attention? Something, for the non-aficionado?
have you seen Rent?
I have not.
You liked Rent,
Oh my
didn't
God,
you?
it's so good.
Yeah, I knew we were going to bring up Rent
Emotional
eventually.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
The set when they had it here in Rochester a while ago was gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
That was a beautiful set.
So,
Yeah, we saw
did
it
you
at
see
the
how you
Stanley
managed
and
to
Utica.
contribute to the conversation without saying anything? That was good. I mean, you are a pro, dude.
It was the eyes.
That's the eyes.
He kind of
He's very.
teared a little bit.
I
Anyway.
got dilated. It was horrible.
He had his eyes checked the other
He
day.
speaks.
Okay. Musicals for the non-musical lover. Repo, the genetic opera.
Have not seen it.
Hell yeah!
What?
If you enjoy, let's see, industrial music, and say Skinny Puppy, then you might very much enjoy Repo the Genetic Opera.
All right.
And if you like Tony Head,
Tony Head, it's the main character.
Oh, Anthony Stewart Head's in
Yep.
it?
yes,
And
he was
Sarah-
awesome.
Sarah Brightman's in it.
Sarah
Oh,
Brightman,
I
really?
love her.
And she was awesome too.
Gorgeous.
Oh my goodness.
And
Paris
Paul
Hilton.
Servino,
Uh-huh.
Paris Hilton was amazing.
She was actually really good in it.
Paris Hilton?
Yeah.
She was one of my favorite people in the whole
And
thing.
she sings.
Yes.
And she sings well.
She sings exactly what the character is.
sings- Okay.
She was awesome.
But she wasn't the worst voice. I think that definitely is laid at the feet of Paul Servino. He cannot sing. He really.
But it was perfect for his character as well.
Okay.
I mean, everybody was amazingly well cast.
Mm-hmm.
Has what's her face from the
The kid?
Yeah, the kid.
Alexa Vargas.
Thank you.
Alexa Vega.
She Vega.
Vega.
Yeah.
Vega.
Oh,
She
from
was
Spy
Spy
Kids.
Kids.
Yeah,
Spy
Spy
Kids.
Kids. That's what I was trying to get out. Spy Kids. She was awesome.
It was.
Everybody was.
I remember
excellent
seeing
in it.
Alexa in a later movie when she was like, out of college age kind of thing, and going, "Oh wow, she is really." I wonder if have I seen this girl before? Because I didn't know the actress's name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Wow, she's really hot." And then I put together it was the Spy Kids girl, and I felt really dirty for thinking she was hot because I'm like, "This girl's old enough to be my daughter now." Great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And Terrence
Terrence.
Zuniga, or however you say his last name.
Zundick?
Zundick. He was one of the writers. He was.
Who's that person?
He's the narrator.
And what else is he famous for? Because I don't know the
nothing.
name. Nothing else.
Well,
He's an actor.
his art blog was hilarious.
Oh my God, his art blog was so funny.
How to draw a straight line. It was great.
Oh boy.
He's the one who wrote a lot of the music, and it's amazing.
Okay.
He's great.
Repo the Genetic Opera.
Repo, the genetic opera.
Gotcha. Well, you're hearing it here, friends and family. You're getting a recommendation. Go out and listen and watch.
It's horror.
Kylie-
though. It is
It is
horror.
horror.
It is most definitely horror.
I
It's a
guess
horror
I'm
thing?
not watching it.
And Kylie, like I told you, you need to watch it.
Okay.
But the violence is so over the top that it doesn't bother me because it really is very cartoonish. And I mean, really, the way it's actually, there's a lot of stuff in it that looks like cartoons.
Okay, and if you guys have ever heard
comics,
of
rather.
Repo Man, same concept.
Most people
except
try to
it
go through
came
their
out-
life getting out of stressful situations. Repo Man spends his life getting into stressful situations. Yeah, okay.
It
Sorry,
was
I had to do it.
done before that.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. Well, I may look at it someday, but I may also, get verschnickered and then try to sleep.
Well, can I tell you, Alexa Vega looks totally different than
Her Spy
from
Kids
Spy
days?
Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Spy Kids, she's like 12, and now
I
she's
know,
not.
but now, she's almost 30.
Oh.
She's going to be 30 this week.
Oh, my
Who does
God.
the cameo in Repo? Joan Jett?
Yeah, Joan Jett.
Joan Jett had a
Yeah,
had a
Joan Jett
cameo.
had a cameo in it. That's right.
I got to go away, Ian. Go-
It's 99 cents on Prime Video
okay.
for those that would like to go watch it.
All right.
Okay, next.
Well, we touched on it a moment ago.
Rent.
Rent.
Yeah, we got to go back to Rent.
That's the one. That's
The-
like the quintessential.
Emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, that's the quintessential musical of the modern.
I can't listen to the second half of
Everyone's
the
favorite
soundtrack
Seasons
without
of Love.
crying.
Oh, I know. Especially when they have one of the last numbers of the first act, and I have not seen a representation of it where it's not set up like the Last Supper with Angel right in the middle.
Yep.
And so it's setting you up for the moment when the second act opens up and they're all mourning.
Yep.
Her passing, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I sat there at the Stanley Theater bawling my eyes out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was already an emotional day for other reasons.
So, yeah, it was a trigger moment. That's a thing.
Oh, boy, was it ever.
But the
triggered.
music is
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, no day but today. That's like one of my favorite pieces of music, like almost ever at this point.
I love.
Vivo M will always be
Yes,
Yes!
I love
Evo M's
M.
right up there. Absolutely.
I'll Cover You and Take Me or Leave Me are mine.
There
I'll
you go.
Cover You is probably my favorite love song from a musical.
Okay.
I love it. I just absolutely love it. Back when MySpace was still a thing, that was the song that played on my
You want a fun
MySpace.
fact? So we got to paint the walls of our choir room at Aquinas after we graduated. So I took the quote from Rent, the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation,
There you go.
up on the wall.
There it is.
Awesome.
Good for
It's
you.
up there.
That is a great
Outstanding.
quote. That is a great quote.
Now, a musical seems to have brought many people who aren't in the musicals to the theater. One I haven't seen yet, and you mentioned earlier you hadn't. Hamilton.
Hamilton, I haven't seen yet.
Everyone that
That's
hasn't
the
seen
national
Hamilton
sensation.
wants to see Hamilton.
Yep.
And it's hip hop, if I'm not
Yes.
Yes.
A bit more
mistaken.
rap.
It's rap.
Yep.
Well, I've seen Lin-Manuel's other piece in the Heights, his breakout. That's the show that he put together and wrote and starred in for a long time. That's the one where he really came and hit the scene. That's where everybody learned the name Lin-Manuel. And I can't remember his last name. I'm sorry to say.
Miranda.
Miranda. Thank you. I knew it was something cool. Now, when it came to town and it was being put on at RBTL, it was
It hasn't
hasn't
yet.
yet.
It's coming
It's
soon.
2019.
Yes.
It's coming next
in
year.
the Heights. I'm talking about in the Heights
We
still.
thought
Sorry.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't see it with him in it. I saw the local cast, when within the Heights, and I loved it. I mean, I went with my ex-wife, and because she's Hispanic, and so this musical speaks to her and her culture, and I think very very respectful, very well done, very entertaining, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Hamilton when it comes up, as I was so told just a moment ago.
Sorry.
Poor Lin
Manuel.
Lin-Manuel de
Miranda.
Miranda.
Misha trolled him so hard last
Yeah.
year.
Yes, with Gish.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that when Misha Collins trolls you through Gish, it's like the highest compliment ever. And you may be a little confused at first, but then you feel the love of everybody who gets in on it. It's like, okay.
He got
it's
a bunch
thing.
of reps that he wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of my friends actually posted pictures of when he went to New York City to see it with him and Lynn, because he went backstage and met everybody, because he's a dance teacher and he's somebody I should have asked to be on this episode.
Well, we'll do it again.
So sorry,
My choir
Carl.
teacher got to meet Lynn.
Was that Jeff?
No, Pratt.
Okay. All right. So we got to wrap up because we're moving and grooving today, and we've got a bunch of things we're doing. So it's going to be a shorter than usual episode. But as you can tell, with musicals, we've scratched the surface.
Yeah.
And I think we should we'll be returning to this when we talk about more specific shows. I think we can concentrate speaking maybe about 3 or 4 different shows that mean the most to us.
And actually, Singing in the Rain is one of my top 3 favorite movies.
Oh, come on. Good morning.
Good morning.
Because that's not just a musical; it's legitimately funny.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, Make 'Em Laugh
Yeah.
is one of my favorite numbers ever.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love Jerry. He's just amazing.
So, I mean, there's lots to talk about. And so I think what we'll do in a future podcast, we'll pick a classic from like Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire. We'll pick something like rock opera, maybe from like 60s, 70s, 80s kind of thing. And then we'll pick something modern, like Rent or whatever the case may be. Chicago. And well, Chicago's 80s, isn't it? 80s, 90s?
No.
Chicago?
No, if you want something modern, you got to do like Dear Evan Hansen.
I was gonna say,
Who?
Dear Evan Hansen.
I don't know that one.
It's a good one. Got a little big. It touches upon like depression and very heavy teen topics, so it resonated in the community.
All right. Ian, that even got Ian to actually say something today. That's definitely we'll have to talk about that one. So we're going to move on. We're not going to take another break. We're just going to run right through. We do have a couple of events that we want to talk about. It's usually our Act 3 type of thing to do. We have Cosplay Day with FC3 Cosplay Ambassadors. Come hang out and meet other cosplayers and aspiring cosplayers. Plans will be discussed for an upcoming series in Cosplay 101. That's August 26th. It's going to be from 3 to 6 at Pop Rock Comics, Caffeine, and Culture on East Avenue. So again, August 26th from 3 to 6 at Pop Rock Comics, Caffeine, and Culture on East Avenue. And that's Cosplay Day with FC3 Cosplay Ambassadors. Then in October, right up just before Halloween, is FC3's Flower City Minicon. We will be returning to the hallowed halls of the Grease Ridge Center Mall in the usual wing over by the movie theater. So exhibitors, vendors, and artists, tables for the weekend are only $75. Contact Brian at fc3roc.org if you're interested, and that will be October 27th and 28th at the Grease Ridge Center Mall.
we're hoping that in the next couple weeks that we'll have the guest announcement.
Guest announcement in the next couple of weeks on that one? Cool. Good to know.
Finalizing logistics and details.
Well, I've told you guys, just call my agent, and I will do it my damn self. I'll be signing autographs all after, anyway.
Isn't your mom's birthday that weekend?
Yeah, she's the 27th.
I thought you were going to ask if his mom was
His agent.
Yeah, my mom's my agent.
I'm sure your mom is your agent.
Mom, can I sign these?
If my mom was to be drawn into this crazy Comic-Con culture of ours, she would just roll her eyes and decline politely. And
She would organize us all.
when the kids
Even
and I
more
talk
so
about
than me.
when the kids and I talk about the movies that we go to see in the movie theaters,
that's nice.
Her actual question, Ian, remember that? Her actual question is, when do you actually go see real movies? I go, Mom, these are real movies. These are story, and then that's anyway. But there's an argument that's going to be had one of these days. Want to be part of FC3 Monkey Business and Mighty Monkey Corporation? There are a few ways of doing that. The first is to become a sponsor. We have sponsorship levels of all kinds and are even willing to create custom sponsorship packets. Please contact us at sponsorships@fc3roc.org. The next is by supporting us on Patreon. Please check us out at www.patreon.com/FC3ROC. All membership levels will include access to the Patreon-only blog, plus tons of great perks at all levels. Shout out to our amazing patrons, Jen Bevan and James Irish, and our newest patron, John Ashton Carton, the
Batman
man, the myth, the
66.
Batman himself. Thank you for supporting us, everybody. Want to help others find the show? Please leave us a review wherever you listen to us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and their famous button, Podbean, YouTube, and Stitcher. Is there a place you find your podcast and you can't find FC3 Monkey Business? Let us know. And please follow us on Twitter at FC3MB Podcast. And if you do, say hi. We love it when you say hi. I almost sound like I know what I'm doing sometimes.
And chances are we'll say hi back.
We'll say hi back. Absolutely. We love talking to you. Please, as Ezra Miller's Flash Barry Allen said in Justice League, I need friends. So. Question of the week.
Yes.
What are you watching, reading, playing, or listening that is making your geeky little heart happy this week? Sherry, how about that? What are you watching, reading, playing, or listening that is making your geeky little heart happy this week?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the book that I was currently in.
Right.
Wild Seed. I finished it.
How was it?
Amazing.
Good book. And who wrote that again?
Octavia Butler.
Octavia Butler, not Otto Octavius.
No.
But Octavia Butler.
I finished that one, and I now want to read everything she's ever written.
Okay.
And I've started a new one called Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi.
Tomi Adeyemi.
Adeyemi. Yes.
Okay.
And it is. I'm not very far into it, but I'm enjoying it a great deal. I'm really getting into sci-fi and fantasy stories that do not have a Western European basis.
Okay.
And I'm really
Kind of get out of the norm.
Yeah, and both Wild Seed and this Children of Blood and Bone are Africa-based.
Okay.
So they're very interesting, and one of my
Nice.
favorite YA books has more of a Middle Eastern feel to it.
Nice.
So-
These are some great cultures that have long and very dynamic histories.
Absolutely. So it's really interesting to see the lens of the genre that I've always loved through a different viewpoint, and
That's
I'm really enjoying it.
Refreshing. It's got to be good.
Yeah.
How about you, Tanya? What are you watching, reading, playing, or listening to that is making your geeky little heart happy this week?
School's out for summer.
Tanya is having a whole Alice Cooper fetish going on right now?
Yes, because I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks from summer school. So.
Yeah, there you go. And
So
then
that's
you go
what's
back
making-
to...
So I really haven't been watching, reading, playing, or listening to anything that's making my geeky little heart. Well, it's just everything and anything.
What's with all the black? Anyway.
I saw that commercial today.
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of books on my phone. Just
What you
listening
been
to-
reading on your phone lately? Trashy romance novels still, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mind
Tanya-
candy is a good thing.
Tanya has a
Mind
fetish.
candy is a good thing.
It's absolutely. I tell you, I can't tell you how many I've read in the
Heaving
last...
bosoms and alabaster skin. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I thought you
It's
meant
not
brain
even-
lollipops.
Yeah.
It's not even that. Believe me. Yeah, that's not even good.
Monkey Girl,
Yes.
what's on tap with you these days? What are you watching, reading, playing, or listening to that is making your geeky little heart happy?
I got a free app called Webtoons for the express purpose of reading the comic Lore Olympus. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Oh my god.
It's
Monk and
amazing.
Becca are
Did
having
you
a
see
bonding
the newest
moment.
one?
Yes. I'm
It just
losing my
came out
mind.
today.
I read it at 12:30 last night.
I read it at 12:50, so I wasn't
Look at you,
behind
soul sisters over there. You two are so
We've
freaking cute.
always had a lot in
It's
common.
amazing to see the geek in its natural environment.
Yes. That's what we need to do. We need to do a video series with a David Attenborough kind of background.
Yes. I am
geek
there.
life.
And here we have the geek in their natural habitat.
The comic book
Hush.
store.
Okay, so it's a modern
Roll for
take.
initiative.
Shut up. It's a modern
That'll be
take
later.
on Greek mythology.
Okay.
Make a wisdom
Specifically-
check.
You know what, Ian?
Something's going to get thrown in here, and
It's most likely going to be my shoe.
okay.
Flip flop.
And it mainly focuses on the story of Persephone and Hades before they got married.
The best depiction of Persephone and Hades was from the Percy Jackson movies. I'm sorry, but it's Rosario Dawson, and therefore it's the best. Anyway, carrying on.
Speaking of rent,
Nice. Damn. All right. So good. Lore Olympics, that's a thing?
Yes.
All right. And Becca seems to agree. Becca, is there anything other than Lore Olympics that's got your attention lately?
Yeah, I've been working with a friend. We're trying to do the 100% playthrough of the video game Detroit Become Human,
Okay.
which is, there's a lot happening.
There's a lot going
Because
on.
it's a story-based video game
Okay.
where your choices impact everything.
Gotcha.
So you'll make choices. So there's like, when you get to the very last chapter, there's 2 different routes for each character with about 5 different endings at least each.
And you're trying to hit every one of them.
Yes.
And how's that going for you so far?
I think we're like...
We're at
We're
6%.
definitely past 50%. We've
We're
gotta be
past 50.
50%.
We're at 51.
At least
50.5.
2 chapters are 100%
50.073.
It's like the one of those choose your own adventure books that you
Oh, yeah.
always want to try
God, I
to
love
choose
those
a
books.
different ending.
It's exactly
and
like that.
somehow you inadvertently always get the same ending. Like 9
Yeah,
times
we
out
have
of
to
10,
be
you're
looking
like,
up help so we can just
like son of a-
avoid.
I'm playing a phone one.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like those quizzes on Facebook or whatever that you're going through, and you want to get a different result, but somehow even if you change your answers just a little bit, you still get the same result. They're like, what's going on?
Those Choose Your Own Adventures books were awesome.
I have a
remember
couple in
having-
the basement.
There's a whole bunch new ones coming out.
Oh, really?
We've got a couple.
I'm in.
We have a couple Dungeons and Dragons ones down in our
Yeah.
Dungeons-
I had those. I had the 4 original D&D ones. I had a whole bunch of the regular
Wizards
ones.
of the Coast is putting out a bunch of new ones.
I'm
Oh,
in.
I had
I want
those-
those.
Abominable Snowman one.
What are you pointing at right now?
her choose your own adventure thing
Oh,
on the
yeah.
book on her
It's-
phone.
Yeah,
What's the
Okay.
app?
it's called Choices.
Gotcha.
And there's
I
like
thought you were pointing at Princess Leia for a moment there. I'm like,
dozens and dozens now.
No.
No.
All the ads for it are
She was playing
cheesy
Carrie
romance
Fisher.
ones.
Yeah, but I'm
choice cheesy romance. I'm
by
in.
those ads.
I'm playing one that's more of a D&D style.
Good deal.
one.
How about you, Billy? What's been making your heart happy lately?
Well, as we record this is a big weekend in professional wrestling.
Uh-oh. Is it WrestleMania?
No, SummerSlam is
Okay,
tonight.
SummerSlam. See, I don't know that much.
SummerSlam is tonight. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn was last night, which was excellent. And like I said, SummerSlam is tonight. So I will be watching that tonight from
I don't
about
watch
7
anymore.
p.m. until midnight.
Nice.
Or until I fall asleep, but I
Until
do
you
have
fall
the,
asleep, whichever comes first.
I have the WWE Network, so whatever I don't see tonight, I'll see tomorrow afternoon.
On demand.
I get
Got
home
that.
from work.
All right, who have I? It's Ian and Chris. I haven't heard from yet. So, Chris, you first.
Ladies first.
Oh boy, he's been silent most of the episode. Now he's going to start throwing zingers that are going to get him
Well,
killed.
Chris was in
what
a
story
kilt
are we on?
yesterday, right?
What story are we on? 16th.
Okay, yeah. That makes a good splat.
He'll
Remember
hit
that,
terminal
boy.
velocity around 5. What was that, Tanya? Real quick.
Wasn't he in a kilt yesterday?
Oh, yes, but we'll discuss that next episode.
Okay.
We have something else to discuss.
Tell me something else.
There is a wonderful, absolutely wonderful new video out by Hillywood.
Oh, I saw it the
really?
other day.
What are they doing?
Oh, yeah.
They did
Supernatural
Supernatural Part 2.
Nice.
Parody part 2.
And we were going to tell you absolutely nothing about it because you guys need to go see it.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it.
I watched it.
I haven't seen it
It's
yet.
hysterical.
Awesome.
It's
Hey, they liked
wonderful.
my post on their thing.
They like everybody's post.
Of course, but I'm just
They're
like, they
fun
liked
girls.
me.
I miss those girls. That was a great interview.
That was a great
when we had them
podcast.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
on. That was fun.
And the
We sat there-
cameos that are in it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Shush, 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 shush. No spoilers. It just came out this week.
Wasn't
No
it 2
spoilers.
days ago? Yesterday?
No, it came out Monday.
Yeah, it's been out for a
No,
while.
No.
no, it
No,
did not
I-
come out. It
I
came out
saw it.
Thursday. It came out Thursday.
They kept teasing and kept teasing and kept teasing.
Oh,
and then,
okay, so that's what happened. Gotcha.
No, I just remember coming home and it was up, and I'm like, oh, hey, that's up.
It was Thursday after Derby.
No, I saw it before Derby, I think.
And that was a great movie, by the way. Up. Anyway.
Oh my God, the first 10 minutes was
Yeah.
horrible.
Best love story ever on
in the
film.
first 10 minutes.
In the first 10 minutes of that movie.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Ian.
Okay, Ian, before you go splat,
Yeah.
what do you have to say?
Splat.
There you go.
I
So,
actually have a couple things.
go ahead. Add to your conversation.
All right. First off, I have
Get
a
right
room.
into the microphone, Bubba.
I have a room.
You have a
He's
room.
so
That's
happy.
Amazing.
That's like the 12th
set up
time
his,
he's
yeah.
said it.
I've been in the house for 2 weeks. I finally got a chance to get around and get everything tidied up. So his sister and they both have rooms at my new house now. They're operational and ready to go. And
Second
he's excited.
thing.
Yes.
I have been playing a lot of Warcraft.
Yep, the new expansion, Battle for Azeroth, came out. So I have not gotten into it yet.
Me neither.
I've been
Demon
so busy
Hunters.
like moving, you know.
Let's see. I bought the expansion before I really got the game.
That's funny. I
because
have to say.
didn't know what I was doing.
Yes,
So.
but that's okay. We
I
still
still
love you.
don't know what I'm doing.
Now
It's
you
all right.
have
We'll
all
play
of them.
again.
Because you had a subscription, right?
You know, I never ever had any interest in playing it, but you guys talk about it, and now I want to play.
There you go.
amazing.
Okay, Sherry,
hate
you and
this.
I can play together because we'll probably get caught in the walls. Or I fell into the water while Chris wasn't online
see-
yet, and I had to swim my way.
I had
out.
She couldn't figure out where to go. It was
I had a
hilarious.
friend who
Oh, this was recently.
Yeah.
So
I had a friend who played EverQuest. And
Yes.
she let me play. She let me play with her character one day, and I got her character completely and utterly lost, and I never touched it again. I did do a Guild Wars
Beta. Yeah,
beta.
She played when I was playing.
well, see,
Mm-hmm.
I liked Sacred. I liked Diablo. I liked that particular thing. I'm still get a little motion sickness with
I can't
Warcraft.
do first-person shooters. Make me
Can't do it.
incredibly
No,
nauseous.
so I look behind my character. I'm like behind it, so my character's walking, so I can see it.
Well,
looks
I
at her
think you have the head
characters
bob set
behind.
up. When I'm at your house later today, I'll take a look at it and I'll help you modify the graphics so you're not like getting screwed around too much.
And do you know Tyler's asked for almost a $900 laptop, gaming laptop for his birthday
Oh,
and
that's-
Christmas? I'm
that's
like,
nice. It's nice to want
that's- no,
things.
yeah, it's very nice to want you. I'm
Yeah.
like, if that,
Get
I'm
a job
getting
done
it.
for yourself.
I'm getting it first. After
Yeah,
that.
seriously.
That's okay. I've been drooling over one for podcasting.
Yay.
For about $1,000.
Yes, but it's a really good.
But if it's podcasting and a gaming and a work,
Yes.
there you go. Is
I
it a
don't have
tax
the money.
write-off?
So you just
It
used
could
up
be,
all your
yes.
memory.
It could
Could be.
yes,
It's part of the business.
yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't
We'll
help
work
with
on
the
that with Dan.
It doesn't help with the upfront cost.
Okay.
Those are bottles and cans. So I think we're done.
I think we're done.
What have you,
Chris, you.
What
me?
about you?
I'll tell you what. It was a couple of weeks ago, after watching my kids play it and watching every kid talk about it and play it, and watching YouTube videos over it, my son finally convinced me to get a Minecraft account of my own.
Oh, I was just thinking about that on the way here.
Yeah, and what?
Untrue. I did not convince you. You went, hey, how much is a Minecraft account?
No, you have been talking about it for a while,
So
so I saw
therefore
you
you
playing it,
inadvertently
and I was
convinced
behind
him.
you, and I'm like talking. I'm like, all right, how much? It was,
no.
but your
No
reaction was
thanks.
hilarious. From across the attic, I go. This was before I moved. I go, hey Ian, if I wanted a Minecraft account, how would I go about getting it? And I watch I'm looking at his back, and I see his head snap up, and he looks to the side, and all of a sudden, I hear him say, "This is the best day ever," right? And so I went through the motions, and I got the account, and like that first evening, we built this big, huge castle of towers that are connected at the 4th floor. And I just over the past few nights, I built a railway from the area that he and I have been building in to the area where Juliana and a couple of other friends of ours are building in, and because we couldn't figure out how to get back and forth to each other, like with because it was over hill, over dale, through water and all. So I built a railroad all the way from my area to her area. And I'm
not
so proud of it.
surprised.
I'm so proud of
Is
it
it
right
kind
now.
of like Legos?
It is a lot like Legos. It really appeals to the 8-year-old in me, really. And it's just like, go ahead.
You
Here
want
it
to hear
comes.
something really funny?
Tell me something really funny.
Okay, so when people first started playing Minecraft, what I had in my head was Minesweeper.
There you go.
And everybody's getting all up in arms about playing, and I'm like, are you friggin' serious?
Yeah.
That's one of the most boring games ever.
Not realizing.
Chris,
Yeah.
you're not the only one.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
Yeah.
Absolutely hysterical.
But yeah, no, I've gotten the Minecraft bug, and I'm already planning ahead for larger building projects and things like that. And I'm starting to work on we landed on this mesa, which is basically all clay and like trees, but not a lot of grass. And but I figured out a way I'm building this village, and I'm finding a way to like replace the clay with dirt and growing grass and things like that. I'm so proud of myself for growing grass on a video game right now. But yeah, that's the thing that's happening at the moment. So yeah, and I'm having fun with it. And I guess it's all really matters. Best $30 I've spent in a while. Good. So all right. And there it is. This has been Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky, and we are the Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic-Con, coming at you like a spider monkey somewhere along the line in 2019. Love us on Facebook, watch us on Facebook, love us on YouTube, love us on Spreaker, love us everywhere, love us on Twitter.
Just love us.
Just love us. Follow us wherever we go, and we'll lead you to where the entertainment is. That's my new tagline.
Throw money
You guys
at us.
have a great week, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Dun, dun.